Okay, so I said I was going to bring you guys along for this shelf building video. Alright, there were shelves here. They actually started right about here and went around. It was a little L. Then there was a double here. I tore that apart, got rid of the back legs, put the cleats on the wall, rebuilt the shelves. Now they're really, really sturdy. I've got these set up here. They just need to plywood on the shelves. And now I'm going to build this one here, and I'm going to take you guys along for the process on how to build the shelves. It's really, really simple. You just need the right tools to do it. The first thing you need to do is decide how big you want your shelves. Now, from the ground up, I went 18 inches, which gives me room to slide a 5-gallon bucket under there. And then each other shelf is 16 inches from the top of the shelf to the top of the one below it to that one. So it's 18, then 16, 16, 16. And it leaves room up top for some of the bigger stuff, some of your dry goods like, you know, toilet paper, paper towels, things like that. Your first step is go and get your wall measured. And I used some painter's tape and then put my marks. That way I could see them really clear. The black on the cinder block didn't show up really well. So what you want to do is get your marks done, and then you want to mount your back cleats. Now, you don't have to go full length with the cleat. You can just go pieces. You could skip 6 to 8 inches, maybe just go every 12 inches if you were short on wood and you wanted to do it that way. It's still going to hold a lot of weight. But the first step is to get it marked. After you get it marked, you're going to take your 2x4s and rip them right down the middle, because you don't need a full 2x4 on the wall. You can if you just want to waste wood. But ripping it down the middle gives you twice as much space using one 2x4. You just rip it down the middle and then anchor it. I'm in concrete, so I'm using Tapcons. They anchor very well into the concrete and they hold really good. You want to pre-drill your cleats, and then you want to mark the wall. You've got the concrete bit comes with the Tapcons. What you'll do is you'll hold your cleat up there. You'll take your level. You'll put it on there, make it sure it's good and level. And then you'll stick your drill bit through the pre-drilled hole and you'll score the wall. Once you score the wall, you take your cleat off, go ahead and drill completely through it. Take your cleat, bring it back up, run a Tapcon, pick your other side up, put your level on top, make sure it's level, and go ahead and score your other marks. Swing it back down, get your Tapcon, set it up there, and run a Tapcon through till you get the whole thing anchored on the wall. So my next step is going to be to put my 4 cleats on the wall. Once I do that, I will bring you on for the next step. Stay tuned. Okay guys, as you can see, I have removed the metal shelves that were here. I got them stacked off to the side and got this whole wall cleaned out. And now what I'm going to do is continue this shelving system all the way around. I'm going to bring it out to about here. I've decided to come 12 foot off of that back wall this way. So that's going to give me, all the shelves are 2 foot deep. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, plus the bottom is 5. I'm going to have, I don't know, I'm going to estimate 300 to 400 square foot of shelving space, single stacked. Double that if I'm double stacking the jars. But I'm going to bring you guys along with the shelf build. I've already got these 2 cleats up. I'm going to go ahead and put 2 on the bottom, run these out this way, and then show you the steps on how to build these super strong, crazy, sturdy shelves. I also blacked out my windows because I don't want any sunlight hitting my food storage. Sunlight is bad for your food, whether it's dry goods, canned goods, or whatever. You don't want sunlight, and you want a good ambient temperature that stays within, you know, just a few degrees from summer to winter. You know, a basement or root cellar is the perfect place for it. Now on with the build. Okay, step 1, get all your cleats secured on the back wall. As you can see, I blacked out the windows, no light. Get all your cleats secured on the back wall from your clean edge all the way down. And it doesn't matter if you have a few small little gaps, because I mean, there's not going to be that much weight there, and it'll support it just fine. The next step is to completely copy exactly what you just did. You're going to take another set of cleats just like this, and you're going to screw them directly to the cleat, just like that. You want to make it perfectly square on the edge and identical, and you want to temporarily screw the second row of cleats right into the first row of cleats. I know it sounds confusing, but it'll make sense when it's all finished. That's the next step. Okay guys, here's what it looks like with the second layer of cleats all the way down. So you've got the one secured to the wall, and you've got the one that's just temporarily secured to that cleat, and you want to make it level as you can, you know, for each one of the shelves. Now what we're going to do is attach the legs straight onto these outside cleats. Once the legs are attached, then we will remove these screws, and we will separate the front cleats and the legs from the back cleats, slide them out the 2 foot or whatever distance you want to use, and then you will come in and you will attach supports like this in between the 2 shelves. So this front here used to be attached to this. I unscrewed it, brought it out the required distance, and then put the supports in throughout. So that's the next step. Okay guys, this is what it'll look like when you get your legs attached. All I did was just split the difference. I know that these shelves are going to come out this far to this leading edge, so I got a leg here, a leg on the far end, and then I split the difference down the middle for a leg. Now what you're going to do, you have all your legs attached, it's nice and sturdy. Now what you're going to do is pull these temporary screws out. You're going to take these front cleats, which are now attached to just the legs. You're going to slide it out your distance, however deep you want your shelves to be. Mine are going to be 2 feet, and you can see here I've got it marked where the legs will sit, and here's where the legs will sit, and this mark here is 2 foot from there back. So all my shelves all the way around are going to be 2 foot deep. Now, since I did this project with wood that was already here, I upcycled or recycled. The only thing that I bought other than screws for this project is 2 2x4s and the 4 sheets of plywood here that I've already got cut into 4 feet long, 2 feet deep, so they'll just slide right in. So all I bought is 4 sheets of plywood and 2 2x4s. Everything else you see was already here. I just recycled it and used it to save money. Now, the 4 sheets of plywood and the 2 2x4s cost me $74. 3 months ago, it would have cost about $270. So I saved quite a bit of money there with reusing the wood that's here. I may actually have to go get another sheet of plywood because I extended this shelf an extra 4 feet. So I'm probably going to get at least 1, maybe 2 more sheets of plywood. This plywood that's here was from the existing shelves that were only 16 inches deep, but I wanted them deeper. So what I'm probably going to do is piece that up and use it for the bottom shelf over here to finish this shelf off. And then I'll run the plywood around. But my total cost for this entire build, and it's going to be an insane amount of square footage. I'll calculate it up and give it to you guys here on the last part of the video. But my total cost for this right now is about 75 bucks. 2 more sheets of plywood, they're 15 bucks each, so 30. I'll be right at 100 bucks, maybe a little more. We'll count the screws, we'll call it 125, call it 150 bucks. 150 bucks for an insane amount of very sturdy, very strong shelving is an awesome deal. So stay tuned for the next part. I'm fixing to separate this, pull it out, and then put my supports in the middle to get it nice and secure. Now, as you notice here, it kind of stops a little short because I am using repurposed wood. It was already cut to certain lengths. So what I'm going to do is just piece this together. It'll have a support here at the seam, but I'll come behind it and I'll splice these two together, kind of like what I did right here. to give them good support where these two sides are connected, plus there'll be a support in between, so it'll be good and sturdy. All right, guys. Okay, and here's what it looks like when you separate the cleats from each other. Space it out 2 feet. I've got some temporary spacers in here to give me the 2-foot clearance. I'll go ahead and I've secured these points in to keep it level. And now putting this together, this is level with this right here. So all I've got to do is scab in a piece here, screw it into the 2x4 there, and then I'll put a little scab behind this to give it support. But this being so close to this right here, it's going to be plenty strong enough. What I'm going to do now is rip down these temporaries. I'm going to turn these temporary scabs here into 6, and I'll be able to come through here and support these shelving areas at the weak spots, which will obviously be, you know, in the middle of the 2 spans, and maybe even here on the edges. It just depends. I may have to go get another 2x4. Wait a minute, I don't think I will. I think, yep, I've got another one laying here on the floor from the original build. These 2x here were probably manufactured in the 60s. They're old, but I'll bust that one up and rip it down, and I should have more than enough 2x4s to support all of this. These here are temporary. They're actually going to be removed, and they'll go on the inside, so you won't see them. So they'll be inside here with a support underneath that will hold them nice and tight. That's it so far. Once I get all the supports in here, then I will simply lay these 2x4s. And here's a trick for you guys at Home Depot or Lowe's or something, because they do cuts. They don't do custom cuts, but they will do custom cuts if they don't know that it's a custom cut. So what I did was I took my SUV, a little Honda CRX, and I told the guy, I said, look, I need 4 sheets of plywood, but the only way I can get them in my car is if they're cut in 2 foot wide, 4 foot long, which is the exact diameter of my shelves. So I got a little bit creative, so I had him put them on the sheen so all the edges are perfectly straight. And what they do at Lowe's and Home Depot, they don't do custom cuts, but they will cut any of your lumber so that it fits in your vehicle. So get a little creative with that, unless you just want to make a whole bunch of rips with a skill saw at home. I didn't want to do that, so I took the Honda, and I found a really cool dude, and I'm like, bro, I need 4 sheets of plywood, but the only way I can get them in my car is if you can cut each one of them into 2x4 sections. He's like, yep, no problem. He hooked me right up. So all I got to do is basically just lay these 2x4s in here once I put the supports down, and then run a couple screws or maybe some finish nails just to hold the shelves themselves steady. And then I will have quite, I don't know, I'm probably looking at 300-400 square feet easy of shelving. I'll let you know when I'm done. Okay, everybody, this is what it looks like, completely framed out. I've got all the supports in there. Got plenty enough support. This thing is solid as a rock. It isn't going anywhere. I braced these joints. What I did was I slid the brace down, and I put another one behind it. These are solid. I mean, they're not going anywhere. So this is gonna support literally thousands and thousands of pounds of whatever I want to put up here. All that's left now is to put the plywood on, and I will show you the finished product. Okay, everybody, here's what it looks like with the 4 sheets of plywood put in. It was enough to do all 4. This is this side here is 4 sheets. This side here is 4 sheets. I've got these little sections left, and I've got this end piece here left that looks like it's about a full sheet of plywood here. So I've got this gap here, and then I've got these little spaces over here in the corner that I'm gonna fill in, and I've got this bottom section here. What I'm thinking is this right here that I've got left, I can use it to piece this in, probably do all the bottom here and piece that in the corner. I may have a little bit left out of that to do some of this, And also, I've got about a third of a sheet here and about a quarter of a sheet there. So I may be lucky, and it looks like I might be able to piece this thing together without spending any more money. I literally used the last 3-inch screw to screw in the last piece of wood. It was hilarious. So I've got to do some piecing. I probably won't do it tonight. I may do it tomorrow and finish piecing them together and get them all nailed down and secured. But the shelves, they're there, they're solid, they're not going anywhere. I mean, I built a lot of shelves, and I've got $75 in this right now. All of this shelving, $75 in it, from using what was already here and doing away with the legs in the back, securing it to the wall. You know, this shelf here only had 3 shelves on it. Now it has 4. The little L shelf that actually started right here and went to right about there, it only had 3 shelves. But now I've got several hundred square feet of shelving that isn't going anywhere. Climate controlled, in the basement, perfect for food storage, whether that be canned food, home canned food, dry goods, it doesn't matter. So got plenty of room here for several years worth of stuff. Thanks for hanging out with me for this build. I will go ahead and post this video now without the parts being finished, and then I'll do an update when I finish piecing it in and show you guys the finished product when I get all this stuff cleaned up and get everything put where it goes. All right, thanks a lot, guys. Please like, share, and subscribe.